Hello. Good evening. Where I think good evening in Philippines, and it's probably morning in
Yeah.
London, and definitely early morning here in Houston. I am Mr. B, and we're welcome to another episode of Suffered in Silence, Turn the Pain into Power. Welcome, everyone. Hana has her book shining too.
Yeah, I
Welcome,
have.
Yes,
welcome.
here. Book training. Yeah.
There, beautiful. Maya, how are you?
Hi, hello, good morning, United Kingdom, good morning, USA in Houston, and good afternoon or good evening in the Philippines. It's 5 o'clock, and welcome again to our another episode of this podcast with Mr. B, Free Talk with Mr. B in Houston, Texas. And how are you? How are you, everybody? How are you, Mr. B? I know it's too early with you.
Well, I enjoy waking up early and enjoy waking up early to podcast with this team. When these subjects are that important, you wake up to make sure we become an advocate for something as important as this. So I'm glad that you're up there. We won't keep you very long in the cold weather over there in the UK.
Oh, it's all right. It's 20 degree now. It's 10 o'clock in the morning, but I think later in the afternoon it's gonna be 25 to 28, and then this week is gonna be another a heat wave, but it's gonna be 38, I think. But I am going to Spain in the next week, Friday or the week after, and it's gonna be heat wave as well. So
And
yeah.
Hannah?
Hi, good morning, everyone. Good afternoon from wherever you are in the world. Hi, everyone. Hi, Mom Victoria. Hi.
Hi. You can call me Vicky, actually.
Vicky,
Thank you,
Mom
Miss
Vicky. Okay,
Harlene.
hi. Welcome
Hi.
here at Mr. B's podcast.
And
Thank you,
welcome,
thank
Miss
you.
and welcome, Miss Baldoza.
And yes, Miss Chon Baldosa from MOP, our secretary, and she's always there. And welcome for another episode. So welcome everybody, and good day wherever you are in this world.
And now we've been talking about this subject, and as we get into this other episodes, we wanted to highlight like different countries. And so, as we are mentioning that we're in different countries, what we find that there are many different cultures, and with different countries and different cultures, it doesn't mean the problem really changes. It means we can still be speaking around the globe and speaking to remind everyone about what the subject is. The subject is suffered in silence. And so if it happens in the Philippines, it happens in London, it happens in Spain, it happens here in the US. And we want to encourage this conversation to talk about this culture. And it's so glad to have Vikki on, Chon on, and even if you're participating, let's talk about this. Let's talk about this culture. Maya, how do you want to introduce Vikki?
I would like to introduce Vicky Chingtoco. I met her, I think 2 or 3 years ago in social media because I really admire her work as an advocate for women in the Philippines. She lives in Laguna Pela, and yeah, she runs this year she runs as city councilor in Laguna, and yeah, and I met her a few times in Manila. She is really an amazing woman, lady that I met, and we shared our thought of how we can change the not the world. Okay, we change for the better life. It's not easy to change.
I don't know. Maybe Vikki will want to change the world. Vikki, is she so accurate?
Yes, Vicky, sis Vicky, you need to say something about yourself.
Oh, well, I'm just a woman who has the same advocacy as you are. But first and foremost, let me thank you, my dear sister friend Maya, for inviting me. And of course, Mr. B, for inviting me. It's a pleasure to be part of this wonderful advocacy of not but to voice out whatever it is that we need to do to help the people not to suffer in silence any longer. So again, I believe that it's God's way of propagating or promoting the women empowerment, girl and women empowerment, by bringing us together, and also by the grace of God, I believe we are here right now, and with of course with Mr. B gracing this show or this program for you, my dear sister, because this is very, I believe this is very important. Social media is now the thing where you can freely voice out whatever it is that you are advocating for. And I must say that yes, correct. Maya is correct by saying that I ran as a municipal councillor in my small hometown in Pila, Laguna. Even if I actually lost in the election, but it doesn't matter, because what for me is more important is to continue with community service through empowering the women. So thank you so much again for your kind comment with regards to who I am, as far as you know as who I am, and of course I thank you for the trust and the confidence that you gave me by allowing me to join as your Luzon coordinator of Luwani, Philippines.
Yes, yes, yes. Yeah, thank you. And thank you for your dedication as well. Yeah, and yes, John Valdosa, would you like to say something? I know that she's here listening. I think she's on the mute.
I think she's on. Yeah, I just asked her to unmute.
Can you unmute? How do we unmute her?
She would have to do it from her end.
Okay. No, we cannot. Can you unmute? Just one second.
Either way. And so while she's unmuting, if we can ask her again or type to her, I was curious about Hana too, because as we speak about cultures and countries, I was curious about what did she see similar compared to different when she was traveling through and met you in London.
Hana? Can you hear?
I'm sorry, I haven't heard it. No. Can you repeat the question? Because
it's okay. No, I was wondering, what did you see that's so similar in London compared to the differences?
Similar to London compared in the Philippines? What you mean?
Yeah.
Okay, there's a huge gap between the UK and the Philippines, especially in terms of number one. I think that's the number one thing when you travel everywhere in the world. It's the food. In UK they don't have rice there, but here we have rices and the mode of transportation. The people in London were so busy. Everyone is like racing, and it's like running. But here in Davao City, where I came from in the Philippines, we are so relaxed and so like chill, So I think those are the first thing that I noticed when I was there in London, even in different countries.
Correct.
And this is similar what you saw too, Maya?
Yes, because since that I've been away from the Philippines for almost 24 years now, as 25 years, half of my life. I was 21 when I left in the Philippines, and now I am 46 years old. Yes, And I'd been so many different countries, 21 countries so far in 24 years. So I've learned so much. Every countries have different cultures. Like I've been in Poland, Germany, and Holland, Italy, Spain, Barbados, Hong Kong, and all that, and in the US as well. They have different culture. But first and foremost is when I went to Middle East 24 years ago, it was really hard because of their cultures and also of because of their religion as well. And I am Christian and Catholic Christian, and they have their own way of belief about their religion as well, and I have to follow what they are wearing, like wearing the clothes all over my body, and also the hijab, they call hijab. So I was there for over 1 year, and then flew to United Kingdom in the end of December in 2000, in 1998, I think. Yes, end of December, and it was freezing cold. When I arrived to UK, and it was like a dream come true because it was really cold, freezing cold, and I saw the trees without leaves. I said to myself, why all those trees are dying without leaves? Because it was my first time. I saw this, it was like I am in, because I saw this uh in my dream or in the pictures only before when I was young, and I thought that one day um I will be able to see this in real, like in the Philippines we don't have this in the wind during, because we have 4 seasons. We don't have this kind of trees that without leaves or falling, and the snow and all the people wearing a jacket, a
Oh,
hat, and gloves. Was really freezing cold. Yeah, so I can see the difference, and of course the food and the people. And we have here in UK different nationalities, the different culture as well. There are more on Indian people, European, and of course Asian and African as well. So there's
You,
so
s-
much to
you
learn.
saw
Yeah.
that diversity. And
Yes.
Vicky, you're well traveled too.
Ah, yeah, yeah,
Yes.
yes, yes.
Can you tell us some of those
so
differences you saw, or where you
Oh,
went?
yeah. Actually, each continent has their own culture. Each country. Sometimes you'll get surprised even within the country. Like in here in the Philippines, we also have different culture or different tradition. Like
Tradition.
in Mindanao area, it's different. The Visayans are also different from the people from Luzon. So it's actually uh, a diversity, as you mentioned, Mr. B. Diversion in everywhere you go. There's a difference between each other's culture, and that is uh, they have a unique culture by itself. Like maybe I haven't been to the Middle East. I haven't been there.
Mm.
I've only been to the European countries and to America and Asian countries. And Asian are a lot different from from uh, from the Americans and also the Europeans. Like the Europeans are in some way, in quotation marks, you could call them a bit snobbish, and and while the Americans, they're also friendly everywhere you go. Hi, hello, it's a good day today.
Mhm.
How are you? Right?
Mhm.
And
Mhm.
the Asians are quite reserved. They're more conservative and they're more reserved. They're shy. They're not that open, especially in the part of Asia wherein there's the Orientals. They're more reserved. They're more conservative. That's how I see it with all the travels that I've been to. Not like these beautiful ladies here with us. They have been immersed in those countries, so it's a lot different. They know better than I do.
Yeah. And so
Mhm.
our listeners must be wondering, and I wanted to let them know that it was the next chapter in the book, Suffered in Silence, Turn the Pain into Power. And what we're meaning here is regardless of the experience Maya went through at 7 years old, she had to get work. She had to work through all the pain. She had to grow through all the pain. And she still had to go to other places and countries through all the pain. And it was a process for getting stronger and stronger as she discovered more and more about herself, around herself, and around the world. And it does not excuse what happened to her, but I think she can talk about why it made her stronger. And so, interesting enough, I'm gonna pick on Hana, then get back to Maya so she can tell us. Hana, is there a stronger community in the UK by some chance?
Sorry.
Is there
It's
is there a
cutting off.
stronger? Do you think there's a stronger community feeling in the UK?
Yeah. UK is so diverse. Like, there's a thing. It's different because I've been in the UK to study, so I am immersed more on a business people, on a business level, while some of the Filipinos work abroad. So there's a different level. So, based from my experience, it's very strong, very competitive. That you have to really talk. That you have to really express and voice out. And here's me, a bit reserved from the Philippines. I cannot voice out what I really wanted to, especially when in terms of talking about the school, my ideas. So I suffered a bit for 3 months on how can I crack my egg because I'm still inside the shell. And London, UK, as diverse, very competitive. You have to crack your own egg. You have to go out and be that chicken, and you have to fight. So that's what I did. I just cope up in a year, and yeah, being able to connect with different people with different backgrounds, with very competent, it's so contagious, it's so contagious that when I went back to the Philippines, I believe I can say I am a different person already because of the experience I've got, not just me personally, but from the other people's experience that I've met during my schooling in London. So yeah, it made me a very competitive somehow person and better
Yeah.
person.
And the reason why I'm asking you first in this sense
Mm.
is to get Maya to see your view and see how it compares to her view, because cultures and countries are very different, but we wonder how many people are suffering in silence still, and what is it going to take to turn that pain into power, not only in the Philippines but around the world. Maya?
Yeah, exactly.
Yes, exactly. Because when I kept my dark secret silence for over 3 decades, I wasn't be able to open my mouth. But since when I met a different nationalities, especially this lady that I met in 2018, um, I was in the business meeting with Robin Fenley, my friend of mine, British guy that I met during those London Fashion Week and the House of Icon. Then in the following week, I had a meeting with him about the Maya's organization. We went to this reception hall in the Marlborough Arch here in London. Then there was an event called Beautiful Survivors. I didn't know, we didn't know what is this beautiful survivors all about. And when when Robin said to me that we were walking along the aisle, by the hall, and then he said, look, Maya, um I think you look beautiful survivors. I think you should be in there. And I said, oh, I don't know what is that all about. And he said, okay, let me find out what is this all about. Then he went inside, and when he went inside, and he said, oh, there's a lot of people inside in this room, and I think there is a different nationalities inside, but let me find out what is this all about. Then he went to another room and knocked the door, and he asked what is this event all about. And there was a lady said that this is a foundation about survivors. So we asked who is the founder, and she pointed, the lady sat down, doing her makeup and preparing herself, and then she said she's the founder. So I slowly walking towards her, and then I asked her that I introduced myself, and as soon as I said that my name is Maya from Philippines, and I wanted to know what is this beautiful survivors all about. And she said, oh, this organization is all about about survivors of domestic violence from different countries. And then I said, I am a survivors of rape. And she said, okay, can you sit down, can you tell me all about you, and can you stay, and then can you join with us. And then as soon as I met her, my life has changed completely, because she introduced me to different people. And she said, this is Esther, this is that. She's a survivor of cancer, she's a survivor of domestic violence, she's a survivor of this and that. So as soon as I heard that this organization, that I said, I am so lucky to meet her, and I'm so lucky to be in this international organization, because I know that I can speak, I know that I can say something, because honestly, all those years in my life, I wasn't be able to say something about my old dear, about the heavy burden, because I tried to share somebody into the Filipino community or organization. Then I have, of course, there's always a negativeness, but I have the negative feedback is saying that why she's talking about her dark secret. It's dirty, it's kind of it's not nice to talk about it. And then I feel like being judged. So when I met these people from different culture, when we shared about our pain, about how about our how do we call it, about my dark secret, about what had happened to them, and we shared about our story, our journey, then I was be able to let it out in the surface without without nang hindi ka takot. Ano yun na without hindi ako takot, at hindi ako takot na I don't have the doubt to share to anybody. Like I don't care. Yes, like I don't care if you say something.
So
Can you say
without hesitation?
Yeah, without hesitation. Okay, nice. Thank you. Can you say her name and her organization? Because I think there's an announcement you could make about her coming to the Philippines.
Yes, and one day we will invite her at the end of the show. She's the very special lady, and she is the CEO, the founder president of Luani, Ladies of All Nation International covering 187 countries all over the world. And her name, she's amazingly, her name is Caroline Makaka. She's my soul sister. She lifted me up. She gave me hope to stand up, to voice out that uh, I shouldn't be quiet. I shouldn't be hiding under the carpet or under the table. I should be going out and do something, whatever it takes and how long it takes. And she gave me the courage to stand up and help those children, not only in the Philippines, but victims around the world.
Yes, to turn your pain into power.
Yes.
Victoria, Vikki, have you heard of that organization before? Because I know you're very involved.
Actually, before Maya, I haven't heard about the Luwani. It was only because of Maya introducing the organization to me. What made me say yes to her was actually I can see, the problem with what, just like what Maya mentioned earlier. Even if you are already outside of the country, like she mentioned earlier that she tried opening up to a Filipino or a Filipina who is staying there in the UK. See,
Yes.
it's a different location, it's a different country, yet it's the culture that is embedded in the person
Right.
that is more important. So what happened with Maya is really truly a beautiful story, because what happened was the reason why I believe she was able to speak out or shared whatever she kept inside her, all this suffering that she kept inside her. She was able to release and then what do you call this, verbalize whatever
Yes.
she's suffering from, whatever is causing all those suffering that she carried for more than 3 decades, as she mentioned earlier, was because all of them are survivors. So she didn't have that hesitation because she felt that she was not alone.
Yes.
She felt that we all here we were once all victims. That's why you can never be a survivor if you didn't start from being a victim. So that's why maybe I believe that's the reason why she got that, guts to face the audience and speak her mind out and everything. And that started it all, the freedom from all this suffering in silence. And that's when I read her book, I was really very, very inspired by that. And I thank God for her, because, and also her soul sister, as she mentioned, the CEO and the founder president of Luwani, is also such a beautiful soul. Even if I haven't met her, I know that she have helped a lot of people, just giving them the courage and inspiring them and motivating them to talk, because that's healing. When you share, that's healing.
Yes,
Yeah.
yes.
So that's why I said it's a beautiful story, and I thank God for bringing Maya to my life, because I know that we can work together. And then soon I'm so excited to meet our CEO and our founder president of Luwani. And I'm so excited that Luwani, I hope soon that Luwani Philippines will come into fruition. And thank you, Mr. B, again. Thank you again
No,
for this
and really,
opportunity.
yes, thank you all for being on, because I think we definitely got to the points our listeners and our advocates we're promoting here on Free Talk with Mr. B is how do you turn all of that pain into power? And powerful speech, as you have displayed, Victoria, as you have quite clearly gave to us, Hana and Maya, it is so clear that you have turned your pain into power. You should no longer suffer in silence. And the advocacy here is to tell every little girl and every little boy that they too can have freedom of speech and the freedom to speak, as we hope that they will not suffer in silence. And if they do, that they should turn any of that pain into power. So we look forward to next week's episode, where we will be talking about how someone in the middle of their pain can still find love and love of their life. So we look forward to that. and thank you so much. I mean, because we still need to live. We must not suffer forever. So we still need to go through every aspect of life. So the next chapter in the book was to talk about that. So
Love
thank
that.
you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm not lucky with a man, actually. So we will discuss that next week.
We look forward to it. Hana, we will put you on the spot again. And thank you, Victoria. And Ms.
Thank you.
Baldoza, thank you so much. And you guys, we'll talk to you again soon. We'll close off now. So hold on a minute.